Continuing here where I left off. But yeah, I would tell, if I was Donald Trump, I would tell the Federal Reserve, look, that's it, man. We're writing down this debt, and we're going to come out of this debt, and you're going to be used for the function that you were set up. Seniorage, that's it, man. We'll pay you a little bit for the right, for your right. This is their privilege, their prerogative, right? They have this exclusive prerogative to be the money printers, okay? That's it, man. And there's competitors out there. So you better have a competitive rate. That's where free market supply and demand needs to begin. Right there at the printing presses. The coin, making our coins, okay? That's where it all needs to begin. And I would say, yes, we're going to default on this. If you don't succumb to my will, that's it. I'm the boss now, not you. And this is where we're at in history, man. This is biblical stuff, man. This is it. This is it. This is the overthrow of the system, the establishment, man. So if you're an anarchist with a good heart, take your mask off. Don't be violent. Don't be a terrorist. Don't intimidate people. And get on board with Trump, man. You want to overthrow the establishment? This is it, man. The Trumps are the best chance we have. Okay? And I'm talking about good-hearted people that have goodwill toward humanity. That's the kind of anarchist I'm talking about. But if you disagree with the system, and you can sure as hell see I do, so does Alex Jones. This system, this track we're on is bad, man. This trajectory is going to just mass poverty, third world status in America, a greater and greater wealth disparity like Mexico. I mean, this is not where we want to go. And, and Trump's not going to fix things just by tweaking things a little here and there. Oh, we're going to bring back jobs here, so it's going to be very spotty and unsubstantial, inconsequential, okay, to the, to long-term fix, okay. It has to be economic policies. That's it. It has to be understanding what you're measuring here, what the evidence you're looking for is. You're looking for your currency to go up in worth, never down. Never. That's anti-progress. That's regression. So just a slow, steady increase in the worth of your currency. That's what you're looking for. That's what supply and demand free market capitalism brings. Okay, and eventually, yes, we can get off the money entirely. And if anybody doesn't like that, they won't be in that place. Okay, it's as simple as that. If you just can't imagine a world without money, don't expect to be there. But I can imagine a world without money, and I'm looking forward to a world without money. I really am. But this is it. But just we're going to mitigate the excess of immigration, illegal and whatever from other certain countries. This is it's the minutia, the excruciating minutia of the overall welfare of the nation and the economic welfare of the people. Okay, this is what we have to look at is the long run. The long term here and what it's going to take. And it's going to take sound economic policy. So that's the best thing I can tell anybody. Okay, this is the way off everything. Okay, you've got personal problems in your own life. You've got vices. You've got habits that you don't like. You've got issues. You've got addictions. I've got mine. You've got yours. We've all got them. These are forms of escapism. Why are we trying to cut our wrists? Okay, metaphorically. Why are we beating ourselves up? Why do we engage in behavior that we know isn't for our own good? Why do we all feel like somebody should kick my butt and straighten me out? I wish somebody would do that, discipline me once in a while. But no, I do this and that, and I know it's not great. I mean, I don't need to start listing vices. I mean, I could though. I mean, from gambling to various eating disorders, to smoking, to alcohol, to drugs, to sex, to porn, to it just go retail therapy. People want to escape through vacations, stuff they find very healthy. People are addicted to entertainment. People are addicted to working out. People are work addicts, workaholics. Okay, there's just a number of ways we find to, just to escape from what this miserable unreality we all know intuitively, instinctively is wrong. Okay, this is where, the prostitution comes in, the world's oldest profession. This is what money, Satan, money, women selling their body is sacred. This is the temple of our Holy Spirit, right? We don't want women selling their bodies. This is wrong, this whole adultery thing. And men have this polygamous thing where, so we both have issues. Satan is the devil is in the details, dividing the genders, okay? Women have that Jezebel spirit often. You see it, oh, I'm better than men. Men need me more than I need them. And, and then it just, look, and they've got the same fallen behavior, the same carnal, lustful behavior we have. I mean, we all know it. It's just the way it is. It's I'm not saying it's okay or not. I mean, we wouldn't have these issues if it wasn't for our fallen state in the first place. The original sin, this knowledge of good and evil. So women wouldn't have their issues and men wouldn't have theirs. Where we think we're the cock of the walk and, well, it's okay for me to do it with this little cutie, the Bill Clinton complex maybe, But, my wife should just, whatever. If she's a lesbian, I don't care. But, she stay away from the guys, right? We don't want other guys with our women. But, we think in our sick little polygamous heads that that's okay. Look at King Solomon and all his concubines. And this is King Solomon, at one time the wisest man in the world. But he had some serious issues. But that was the culture at that time, right? That men could have a bunch of wives. I mean, still we know in some Muslim cultures, right, polygamy, and even here in America, some of the what do they call them, the Mormons, right? They got that polygamous thing going on. They still want to legitimize that. But it's supposed to be one man and one woman. Okay, the two become one whole. That's why men never feel right being single, and we're more miserable than women. That's why less of us are single. But it's tough being single. We don't want it. We feel like half a man. We feel like, and our better half too. It's like if we had a woman, I'd be more than, I'm saying I'm 1/3 happy being single. Well, being wholly, happy, that's 3/3, and that's the woman brings that other 2/3 into a man's life. I believe that. Even though I spent a lot of time as a single man, I still believe that's what it feels like to me. Whenever I have been in love and felt that level of confidence rise and my self-worth rise and all that stuff, those good feelings, somebody loves me, that, just wants to be by my side and share life with me. That's a beautiful thing. Any man understand. Women like it too, right? And they like it in another whole nother deeper, profound level sometimes, I think, than men. So we're very great beings, the men and women in our own way. We want to be whole. We want to be married. We want that wholeness, okay? We feel like half, and this is the way God made it. So, Satan's trying to divide us there with this spirit of, well, it's okay, men and women have issues, and women have, wage inequality and all this. But really, if you look into it, women own more than half the wealth in this nation, in America. That's a matter of fact, Harry Dent's always talking demographics. Well, I know a few myself. I've read some stuff on it. I know demographics. So I can point to facts. I know, for example, there's over 870,000 charities, I think it was, at the turn of the century. Okay, so by now, that figure's probably doubled or tripled. There's a lot of charities out there. So, I know my own demographics, and I know that women have a huge say in economic stuff, and we should listen to them. They're the more nurturing, kinder, gentler ones of the two, I believe. So if we listen to them, and we enact, some of the ideas they have into the economic, kinder, gentler economic reality for America, then I think, they're part of what's going to take us on this journey to freedom and happiness is women. And that's how they're going to do it. That they possess the wealth, okay? They possess Satan. They've got it. They've got a lot of men. A lot of women have a lot of men by the you-know-whats, okay? And so we should reach out. We all need to reach out and listen more and be respectful to one another and really say, look, what are we after here? What is the common goal? Is it peace and justice and mercy and freedom and happiness and prosperity across the board? Or is it something else? And if it's something else, man, you know what? You're going a direction I don't want to go, okay? Because that just smacks of permanent division. And, in perpetuity, we're going to have wealth disparity and poverty and all the problems that come along with it. Like the prostitution, like the sex trafficking, right? Like the white slavery, child, all this stuff. It involves children, right? All these pedophiles, they depend on being able to buy and sell children. Isn't that what that's all about? It's sick, man. There's money involved in this stuff. Satan is involved in all this stuff. The devil, is in the details. The vast majority of crime out there, in fact. Think about it. Consider it. Okay, name one. Because I'm not going to start naming all the sundry crimes. There's just too many. But it's all related to economics. It's people's fear drives them to do things that are wrong, immoral, illegal. And people get desperate and they do criminal things. It's a matter of fact. Think of all the jobs that are involved, that revolve around the problems persisting. So you see how antithetical this is to the current establishment, the things I'm talking about? Yeah, they seem radical, not to me, because I've been pondering these things for decades. And the longer I ponder, the more I'm convinced I'm on the right track. I'm on the track I believe God's telling me to be on. And that's simply one of equality. That's simply one of the American way, the constitutional way, which is the godly way, freedom. You can't say it's good for me and my family, and I want this and that for me, but you can't. I mean, then you're just on the side of the elitists. You're getting thrown into that same swamp with all the hypocrites and what gnashing of teeth the Bible talks about. That's why, I try to warn people, because you can be really smart and still be deceived and be deluded. So it's a serious deal what I'm talking about here. We've got to be very clear about this, about what we're after. Know the world, envision the society you're talking about, what it's going to look like, okay? And what role is money going to have in that society? Because the one that I know about in the Bible that Jesus talks about when he's ruling this earth doesn't involve money. That's a false competing god. It's Satan. It's the devil in the details. And the devil can't be in the details anymore. We're going to have a new age. That's what's talked about. Jesus said these things. So if they sound far out and radical, this is what all Christians purportedly believe. It's in the Bible. He said the end of the age and the beginning of a new age, the renewal of all things. It's all going to be different. That's it. It's all going to be perfect. Death is going to be gone, swallowed up in victory. Can you imagine how different that is? Where gravity's not deadly, inertia's not deadly, there's not diseases that can threaten us. Nothing can threaten us anymore. No physical harm. Nobody to do physical harm that would want to do physical harm in that realm anymore on the surface of the earth, while the others get cast into Hades or hell or, that other place down below that you don't want to go. Just make sure that you're wholly in, man. You say, I'll lay all my cards on the table, everything. And I'm in. I'm in for that world. Let's let it happen. Let's all work toward that common goal, that we can all be free. You can't be somebody out there saying you believe in such noble high principles and you're gonna resort to terrorist, intimidating, violent tactics to get your way. And I'm going to repress other people's freedom of speech. You can't do that. And if you got a beef, talk about it with people. I see so many of these communists, they won't talk to reporters. Oh, well, you're fake news and, you're bad people and, I'm against you, so I'm not even going to talk to you. I'm just going to ignore you, pretend you're not there. That's the worst slap in the face you can ever give anybody. Okay, that's the worst, criticism, insult you can ever pay anybody is to just ignore them. And that's what they're doing, and it hurts. But we all got to figure out, well, how did we hurt their feelings that much that they won't talk to us or whatever? I'm not siding with one side or the other. I'm on everybody's side. Okay, that's very clear. And if you're evil, it doesn't mean that I'm going to go along with your evil. I don't agree with that. But I'm on your side in the sense if you say I'll lay all my cards on the table and be on the side of humanity, then I'm on your side. I want to embrace everybody. I want to love my enemy. I want to embrace the things Churchill said, right? Stay close to your friends, but closer to your enemies, right? So how do you do that? You got to be respectful. They're not going to get close to you if they're living in fear of you. They're afraid you're going to punch them or, be violent or just, castigate them verbally, excoriate them in a way that they can't recover from and just assault their intelligence and their integrity. You can't do it that way. Name calling and all this, we've all got to understand that this is serious, man. And we don't want a bloody civil war. I don't. And I'm not saying it was coming in the first place, but I am saying that, we all just need to, for the sake of true progress, of truly resolving our problems and extricating ourselves from this madness that's been shoved down our throats. And it has been shoved down our throats. It's been foisted on us. This national debt, this huge problem. This is all about money, isn't it? The national debt, states' debt, individuals' debt, okay? This is all about money. Who cares about it? You see? It's just nonsense. All the people that are telling us we're in this horrific debt, I mean, this insurmountable debt, horrendous debt, that, there's $20 trillion just in America in debt. They're the ones walking around with all the loot. Yeah, you owe me, but they're totally well-heeled, fabulously wealthy, right? And, this is what's so sick about these people. They can have anything they want. They can have all the goodies they want. They want limo drivers. They want helicopters or planes and boats and lifestyles of rich and famous, mansions and whatever their little hearts desire. They can have all that stuff.